I've had thousands of people ask me where I got the lens for the solar death ray. I can understand the question because this thing is so cool when it cuts through rocks. The origin of the lens is very simple. An old rear projection TV that someone left on the side of the road. I loaded this bad boy into a truck because I had to get it home so I could take it apart. This was a giant one and I was stoked that this dude gave this thing away. When I got this monster to my garage, I was glad to see that it was old because the old ones have the best lenses. The goal here was to get the screen off because that's where the big lens is. The lens is the innermost part of the screen, which you can see here from the inside. I had to be careful as I took the screen apart because I didn't want to break the actual layer of plastic which makes up this giant Fresnel lens. I took off the screen protector first, and then I was able to take off the screen itself. These old TVs have screens made up of 3 layers, the outer 2 of which I take off and throw away. The lens is easy to recognize because it's a clear layer of plastic with these concentric circular lines, kind of like what you'd see on a vinyl record. I really wanted to test this thing in the sun, but before I did that, I had to frame it up. After I had the wood for the frame, I laid the lens down so that I could put the wood around it very precisely. I framed it so that it would be very straight. If it bends, the focal point gets thrown off and the lens is weaker. I connected it to the frame with quarter molding. The solar death ray is formidable because it bends light and gathers it down to a very hot point. For optimal performance, I moved the death ray perpendicular to the sun and trained the hot spot right on the surface of the rock, which immediately begins to pop. As you might imagine, storage of such a device is a concern, but I just get an old blanket and throw it over the top to cover the lens, and I keep it out of the sun, and there you go.